Hello, today I'm going to show you a hands-on demonstration of a software called Global Office Find Replace Professional. This software allows you to make multiple changes across multiple Microsoft Office documents without having to open them one at a time. The software also works with PDF and any plain text files. Please note that this software processes everything locally. It does not send anything to the cloud for processing. Your privacy is completely protected. This software is available for Windows and Mac computers. We're going to use the Windows version for this demonstration, but this software also runs on Mac computers, and we have a separate video for that. The software uses 4 simple steps to perform these operations on the principle that after a step is completed, the next one becomes available. In the first step, you're going to select the types of files you want to process. All of the types you see here are possible. We're going to concentrate on Word documents, but you can also select Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, Visio, text files, and any combination that you like. We're just going to stick with Word for the purposes of this example, but they all work the same way. In the second step, you're going to tell the software where the files are located. Some of the things you can do here, you can simply drag and drop a whole folder from your File Explorer into this step. The software will take that folder, read it, and find all the document types that you selected in step 1. So for example, if a folder contains Excel and PowerPoint documents and you only selected Word, it'll just read all the Word documents in that folder, and so on. You can also simply drag and drop a single file in here as well. That works also. In the third step, you're going to tell the software what you want to change. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to concentrate on text find replace. But many other things are possible here. You can find and replace images visually. You can update text formatting. You can update Excel connections and change its data. You can replace and find and replace metadata. You can copy headers or footers. You can delete headers or footers. And many other things are possible. These are subjects of other videos that we have on our website. And finally, in the fourth step, you're going to select the destination folder. This is where you're going to place the results of the find and replace operations that you defined in steps 1, 2, and 3. All the files you selected in step 2 will be modified as per the instruction set and copied to this select destination folder. And finally, you're going to click the perform substitutions or extractions. When you click this button, the software will run across all the documents you selected in step 2, perform all the operations you requested, and output them into the destination folder defined in step 4. Now let me show you a live demonstration. First, let me show you some examples of what I prepared for our demonstration. I set up a bunch of Word documents. They all have various things that we need to adjust. I created 10 different documents here. Obviously, the idea here is that you do not need to open Word to make these modifications. In fact, Word doesn't even have to be installed on your computer. So let's take a look at a few of these. So this is an invoice. And in this example, the word invoice is misspelled here. Of course, I could go in and make that change manually, but that would be very tedious. There's another invoice here that has the same issue. The word invoice is misspelled. This is going to be the basis of our very first, very simple example. There's a service agreement here. The word agreement is misspelled, so we're going to correct that. We're going to do it in one shot. So let's see how we can set this up. I started the Global Office Find Replace Professional software. This is the software that we're talking about here. And I'm going to select in the very first step, as we discussed earlier, I'm going to select the Word documents by simply clicking on the checkbox next to the Word document here. Now the second step is open for me, and I can add the folder that contains the files I want to use. Now, you can, of course, click the Add Folders button, and this will open a file dialog, and you can select whichever files you want here, but you can also very simply drag the entire folder into this step. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to grab this example, drag it into step 2, you can see that the background changes to blue. And once I drop it in there, it has selected 10 files because this is what I have. I have 10 Word documents identified in step 1. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on adding the changes that I need to make to those files. Now, I need to tell software what I want to change in step 3. I've selected my files. I've selected 10 Word documents. I can even go ahead and review them here. I can click this button and this screen will come up and it'll show me all the documents that I selected, and you can even modify this a little bit if you want to do that. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to make some spelling corrections to the documents that I showed you earlier. I'm going to go ahead and click this Text Find Replace in step 3. This is the screen where I'm going to make all of the changes that I need for the Find Replace text operations. There's a lot of things going on here. We're just going to touch on a few details that are very important to understand. If you recall, in the documents that I showed you, the word invoice and the word agreement were misspelled. So let me just refresh your memory. So that's the word that we need to correct, and also this word here, agreement. So they're two separate documents. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the mistake that I want to correct. So in this case, it's the word invoice misspelled. And I'm going to tell the software that I want to replace this word with the word invoice spelled correctly. There are a bunch of options here. You can tell the software not to touch the headers, for example, and only look for the word in the body. I'm going to leave all of these as they are, but know that you have a whole bunch of options to explore here. I'm going to add another substitution because that's not the only correction I want to make. I also want to correct the spelling of the word agreement with 3 E's. So I'm going to click this button here, add another substitution, and I'm going to put in the word agreement misspelled. And I'm going to correct it by spelling it properly. For now, that's all I'm going to do here. And there are a couple of different ways you can progress from here. You can just simply hit validate, save and close, or close the window. I want you to notice one very important detail again about this screen. In this screen, there are 2 buttons here, export to CSV and load from Excel or CSV. Those are the buttons that form the absolute most important core of this whole system. The reason is you can export all your changes, put them into Excel, modify what you need there, and then load them back into the software. This is very powerful. You do not need to do these changes all the time if they're the same, typing them from scratch. You can simply use Excel to put in whatever changes you need and then load them into the software for processing. So I'm going to go ahead and click validate, save and close. Now notice, in step 3, the background for text find replace is now green. That means we've trained it to do something, and now step 4 is available for us to continue. You can do the same trick with all the other buttons that you see here. For example, I could go into images, find, replace, extract. And then if I did some changes there, that button will become highlighted in green, meaning something is there that requires processing. Until you do that, step 4 will not become available, but we already put some text changes. So when we clicked save, step 4 now becomes available for us. Now I'm ready to tell the software where I want to place the output. I'm simply going to go ahead and click the select destination folder for results. Folder dialog browser will come up, and I'm going to select a folder on my main drive, but you can put it anywhere you like. The software will tell you where the output folder is here, and also it'll tell you where the log files go. This is the default place where the software is installed. That's where all the log files are going to go. We're going to work with that in just a little bit. Now I am ready to run the operations on my files that I've defined. All that's required at this point is to click this Perform Substitutions or Extractions button, and the software will do its thing. I want you to notice something. There's no trickery going in here. When I click the button, you'll see how quickly it makes all those changes. I'm not stopping the video to wait for it to finish or anything like that. This is real time. Watch what happens when I click Perform Substitutions or Extractions. it took literally no time, less than a second to process all 10 files. And believe me when I say, if you have thousands of files, this goes very quickly and is very useful when you have a large number of files that you have to process. The software generates a log file, and you can also open the result to take a look at what happened. Let's take a look at the log file first. First, let's take a look at the log file. Simply click the View Log File button, and if Excel is available on your computer or whatever software you use to look at CSV files, you can click the Log File button. And here's the result in Excel in my case. And you can see that right away, first of all, it shows you all the different substitutions that you entered, and it will show you all the files and how much processing was done on them. And so it tells you a few pieces of information: the file size, the time that it took to process it took literally 1/10 of a second to do for each one, and there tells you where the changes were found. So there are a few files which had those words corrected and some did not have those words, and I did that on purpose so I can show you what it looks like. And so now let's take a look to see what the changes were that it made in all of the files that we processed, where you can see the number of text changes is more than 0. The software provides a very convenient button, Open Result Folder. So I'm going to click that, and this is all the output that the software wrote. And I know that there was that word that was spelled incorrectly in the very first document, so I'm going to open it up. I hope it comes as no surprise that, look, it changed the word that we wanted to correct from invoice is spelled incorrectly with the word invoice spelled properly. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at this one. Also, same thing here. The invoice is now properly spelled. We have a service agreement. Now the word agreement is also spelled properly, and so on. So that's the first way in which you can use the software, is simply correct things across multiple documents at the same time. Let me show you a couple of other things that you can do in the same sense. Now let's take a look at a different example. Let's look at a legal agreement. Let's look at the privacy policy document. This document contains placeholders. It has a placeholder for date. It's just simply the word date surrounded by square brackets to make it unique in some sense, or a company name surrounded by square brackets. I might have a lot of these documents that are always basically all the same, and all I'm doing is changing the company name or the address in them. So I could set it up so that I have these placeholders, and then I use our software, Global Office Find Replace, to fix those to the correct customer specific information. In other words, change the company to what it's supposed to be, put the correct date in there, and so on. So let's try to see how that would work. To save time, I've already made all the necessary entries in here as we did previously. I don't need to show you that again. I have the placeholders that I want to replace in the document, followed by the text that I want to replace them with. And this, of course, will be different for everyone. Now, I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to say I want to highlight in a different color some of the text that I'm replacing. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the F button next to the date that I'm replacing. I'm going to click this F, and this will bring up a new screen that will allow me to change a bunch of formatting options. What I'm going to do, I'm going to choose a different highlight color. I'm going to say yellow. I would like it to make the replacement and then apply yellow highlight. This is very powerful. You can apply all kinds of formatting changes to this. You can apply italics, underline, bold, strike through, and so on. You can also look for text formatted a specific way, but that's a different video. For now, know that you can do a lot of tricks with this formatting. I can go ahead and change the formatting to yellow highlight. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to save it. By the way, when I do that, and I bring up and I change the highlighting, you'll see that the background of this text box will be in yellow. I'm going to click Validate, Save, and Close, and I'm going to perform the substitution or extractions again. Also, again, notice how fast this is. It took 1 second to perform all 10 documents. Let's take a look at some of these results. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Open Result folder. And then I'm going to go ahead and in my result folder, I'm going to select the privacy policy document as an example. The other documents work the same way. This is just an example that we worked out. And I'm going to bring it up in Word and let's take a look at it. You'll see right away what happened here. I can see that the date was changed and the yellow highlighting was applied. I can see that all of my placeholders, including the company name, the street address, the city, state, zip code, and the email were also changed. Note how powerful this is. You can set up a bunch of documents with these placeholders and then run them through this find replace operation to put the correct values in and save the values in an Excel spreadsheet that you can load at any time. I'm going to do one last thing. We have a little bit of time left, so let me show you how easy it is to replace images with this software also. It's very visual. To replace images, you simply click on Images Find Replace Extract button. The first thing that's going to happen is it's going to give you some instructions on how to do it, but I'll let you read that when you run the software yourself. I'm going to say, okay, so these are all the images that the software will show me that are in the documents that I selected in step 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and replace all of them. You can do them individually if you like, or you can replace all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the checkboxes next to them. There's also a button here that says select all images. You can do that too. And I'm going to say replace selected with image. You can also just replace individual ones. So for instance, if I want to replace this LA one with image, I'm just going to click on replace with image. I'm going to select the image I want to use. And voila, you see that I replaced that one document image with this one. But I'm going to do all of them. So I'm going to say replace selected with image. And I'm going to again select this one. And now all of the images that are located in my documents will be replaced with my Find Replace logo. So I'm going to click Save and Close. And I hope it comes as no surprise. I'm going to click on the Perform Substitutions or Extractions. This will take 2 seconds to process the 10 documents, but believe me, it takes no time to process thousands if you need to. Let's take a look at some results of this. I'm going to click on the Open Result Folder button. And I'm going to look through the files that are there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the privacy policy document. And as you can see, the logo is replaced with a different logo that I selected. I can look at the other examples here because I did all of them, right? So let's take a look at the invoice for consulting, for instance. It doesn't matter which one I pick. Notice again, the logo is replaced. Thank you for watching. I hope you saw how easy it was to use this software to make changes across a variety of documents on your computer without having to open them one at a time. This software will save you a lot of time so that you don't have to do this manually. Feel free to email us with any questions you might have. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching.